Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/AmIOverreacting for you all. As per usual, I'll be going through the post, giving you my opinion at the end, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Hey, super quickly here, GamerSupps is once again doing Christmas in July, starting July 25th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to get a free gift with purchase with every tub you buy, then take advantage of this by using code Oz at checkout. Every purchase made does directly support the channel, and gets us closer to a shaker cup. Let's get back to it. Golly Quoj Fit 9 GTF. Am I overreacting for being pissed that my girlfriend uses AI to text me? So, I caught my girlfriend using ChatGPT to reply to my messages, and not just sometimes, but for everything. At first, I thought she was just being extra thoughtful with her texts, until I saw her copy-pasting my messages into an AI app while we were sitting together. When I called her out, she said it helps her express herself better, and that I should be grateful she puts in the effort. But it feels like I've been talking to a robot this whole time. Even our serious conversations when I was stressed about work. When my dog died, she just fed my messages into an AI and sent the perfect response. Now I'm questioning if anything she's ever said was really her. Am I overreacting? She says I'm overreacting, but I feel like our entire relationship is a chatbot simulation. Sorry, dude, at that point, you're not even dating your girlfriend, you're just dating ChatGPT. I know a few years ago, South Park did an episode with this exact plot, but the thing is even though that was done, that is something that I can 100% see people doing, because some people are lazy and would definitely find the excuse of, well, see, I'm just using ChatGPT to better express myself. AI kind of scares the hell out of me because we're getting to a point where a lot of people can't really think for themselves or do basic human tasks without relying on the all-knowing word of ChatGPT and generative intelligence. Like, what she's doing is disrespectful to her relationship and to OP. Like, this just sucks. Like, I mean, I know I joked about it, but at this point in time, OP is basically just dating ChatGPT. Like, she can't think for herself. Minimum Lawfulness 734. Am I overreacting for asking my husband to sleep on the couch after he called my job just a hobby? I, 30 female, work full-time as a freelance artist. It's not traditional, but it's a real career. I pay half the bills, have steady clients, and love what I do. Last night, my husband, 33 male, and I got into a small disagreement about finances. He suggested I could pick up a part-time job to help more. And when I reminded him how much I already contribute, he laughed and said, "Well, it's not like you really work, it's just your little hobby." I immediately told him that was incredibly disrespectful. He said he didn't mean it like that, and it just came out wrong. But it really stung, especially since he's seen how hard I've worked to build my career. I was so upset, I told him to sleep on the couch. He did. But this morning, he's acting cold and says I'm being dramatic over a stupid comment. I feel like he crossed a line, but now I'm wondering, am I overreacting for making him sleep on the couch over one rude remark? The thing is, if OP's hobby is able to keep up with the bills on par with OP's husband's job, then what does that say about his line of work if OP's hobby really is just that, a hobby? Which it's not, mind you. OP is equally contributing to the household, and chances are I wonder if the husband might actually just be jealous of the fact that she is able to keep up with the bills, despite it being a hobby. The thing is, they were in the middle of an argument, and he said that. What he said was calculated and designed to hurt her. Whether or not he said it and it was a slip of the tongue that he actually thinks that, or it was designed to specifically target and hurt her, is an entirely different discussion. Doesn't matter though, because he said it. And if he was actually remorseful for his comments, when he woke up from the couch that morning, he would have apologized and tried to make things up to you, not trying to downplay your emotions and the fact that you're hurt over the fact that your livelihood was called a hobby. But he didn't do that. He's now trying to gaslight you into feeling like your emotions are invalid. Don't let him do that. Your feelings are entirely reasonable. He's being an asshole. You pay half the bills. If he really thinks it's just a hobby, then hey, maybe your hobby can just be hobby money, and he can pay the entirety of the bills if it is, after all, just a hobby, right? Fucking ridiculous. Girl next door FKD82. Heh. Am I ever reacting for refusing to let my husband's friend sleep on our couch after what he said to me? My husband, 31 male, and I, 29 female, have been married 2 years. Last weekend, one of his old college buddies came into town and asked if he could crash at our place for a few nights. I was fine with it, until dinner that night. While my husband stepped out to grab something from the car, his friend leaned over and said, "You know, you're a lot prettier than the photos he showed me. Too bad you settled for him." Then he winked. I wasn't stunned, but didn't say anything in the moment. Later, when my husband came back, I pulled him aside and told him what happened. His friend denied it and said I misheard. I told my husband I didn't want him staying here after that. My husband said he agreed it was inappropriate, but since he already promised his buddy a place to stay, could we just keep the peace for the weekend? I said no, told his friend to find a hotel. My husband is annoyed and says I overreacted and made it awkward. Did I go too far? I would say, in my personal opinion, not overreacting, because she's in a situation where she has a husband's college friend flirting with her, telling her that she's settled, and he's winking with her, then lying to the husband about his intentions or actions, and then the husband is, while calling it inappropriate, sidelining the wife's concerns about his behavior. I know I bring up the aluminum bat a lot, but if I invited someone to my home to stay the night there, and they hit my partner with an aluminum bat, I wouldn't just say, well, I promised them that they would be able to sleep on the couch. Like, I know it was inappropriate for them to hit you with an aluminum bat, but, like, I promised them, and you're just making it awkward right now by being in pain because they hit you with an aluminum bat. Is that an extreme escalation? Yeah. But at the same time, guys, how would you feel if you invited a friend over and you found out from your wife that he told her that she settled and gave her a wink? You'd feel kind of uncomfortable with that, huh? Well, my guess would be is if your wife told you, she's 100% feeling uncomfortable about that as well. I'm going to say not overreacting, and I'm sure that someone with a woman's perspective would be able to shine additional light that I just simply didn't think of. Dazzling Yogurt 5037. Am I overreacting for canceling our friend's getaway because my husband secretly invited his friend's new girlfriend who used to bully me? My husband, 33 male, and I planned a weekend cabin getaway. Just the two of us. I was really looking forward to it. 2 days before we left, he told me he invited Jake and his new girl, just to make it more fun. Jake's girlfriend is someone who used to bully me in high school. She spread a really personal rumor about me back then that still haunts me. I told him I wasn't comfortable and asked why he didn't ask me first. He shrugged and said it was no big deal and that I should let the past go. I canceled the whole trip. He called me immature and said I was punishing him for something that happened 10 years ago. Was that too much? Was I overreacting? There's a lovely comment from Manager Opening that starts with, I would just tell him something like, why would I want to go on what was supposed to be a romantic getaway with someone who has disrespected me and tried to go behind my back by not asking me, but telling me last minute about plans you secretly made, especially when involving someone that brought pain in my life? Why would I want this trip after you've polluted it with such negativity? Not overreacting. What an ass he has been. I'd have a serious talk about boundaries and communication. He can't pull this last minute, completely changing the whole dynamic of the getaway. What he did, I'd find it hard not to see as a preemptive turnoff. Like, if he tried to be unromantic, it would be hard to top what he did. Love My Weirdness responds to this comment. I'd also ask, what do you mean inviting Jake would make it more fun? Would it not be fun for you if it was just us? Yes, going out with friends can be fun, but I can also have just as much fun with just my hubby. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but if he said something like OP's partner did, I'd wonder if being with me was boring, and that would really hurt. Both of these comments pretty much expressed exactly what I was going to talk about, especially the little comment about it would make it more fun. That part did bother me a little bit, and I had the exact same thought as Love My Weirdness. Like, even ignoring the fact that someone who used to bully OP was then weirdly invited, I'd still find it incredibly disrespectful, and OP wouldn't be overreacting to the fact of a romantic getaway was now becoming a weird friends trip. That would suck, especially in the guise of, it'd be more fun to have more people. Now, adding the spice of the fact that that's someone who used to bully OP with a nasty rumor that still haunts them 10 years later? That fucking sucks, dude. And it sounds like the husband is perfectly aware of this as well, and probably thought this be a situation of, well, it'd be easier to ask for forgiveness than permission, and she wouldn't just cancel the trip, right? So surely if I just tell her what's going on, she'll just put up with it, and everything will be fine. And now he's learned the hard way that, that's just not how reality works. Not overreacting. I couldn't imagine being told that I'm going to spend a weekend getaway with someone who tormented me in middle school, or high school for that matter. Low Sandwich 5796. Am I overreacting for refusing to call my mother-in-law Mom, like my husband wants me to? My husband, 35 male, and I, 29 female, recently got married. His mom has always been kind to me, but we aren't exactly close. She's a very traditional woman, and was cold to me during our engagement because we didn't do things her way. Now, my husband is pushing for me to call her Mom, like his sister-in-law does. I've told him it feels forced and uncomfortable. I already have a mom who I'm super close with. He said it's about respect and being part of the family. At dinner last week, he literally said, "Ask Mom to pass the salt," and looked at me expectantly. I ignored it. On the way home, he got mad and said I embarrassed him. I said I'm not going to fake intimacy just to impress his mother. He thinks I'm being stubborn and unwelcoming. I think I'm being honest. Am I overreacting for not wanting to call her Mom? Yeah, sorry, OP. I'm gonna have to say you're definitely overreacting on this one, and you should probably just call her Mom. Like, what's the big deal? No, but being serious, this is weird. This is just really weird. He put you on the spot purposely to get you under pressure so you would do it, in hopes that you would fulfill some kind of weird fantasy that your mother-in-law has. I don't know if it's like a power play or there's more going on here, but it's weird. Definitely not overreacting, and there's a lot of weird power plays going on here that definitely waving some red flags around. And it certainly makes me worried for what kind of life your kids would have around, that mother-in-law on that side of the family. Especially the fact that you calling her Mom is about respect and being part of the family. It's kind of cult-like. It's weird. I don't know. What are you thinking? Ma Monopoly. Am I overreacting? I've kicked out my aunt, 35 female, and her 4 kids after she dropped/canceled the protective order I helped her get, just a week after escaping her extremely abusive boyfriend. This story has the flair for a content warning as a heads up. I, 23 female, got a call last Tuesday saying my aunt, 35 female, and her 4 kids, 8 male, 7 male, 4 female, and 2 male, were on their way to me from 4 hours away. Her boyfriend of 11 years had just tried to kill her and the kids. I let them into my home. I fed them, clothed them, gave them beds. We called our side of the family, not her abusers, and everyone gave her full support. I took 2 days off work, got her a lawyer, helped her build her case, made sure she added important evidence to her order of protection, and drove her everywhere she needed to go. I took the kids out, bought them food, baked with them, and got her connected with a local agency that's ready to pay her first and last month's rent and cover housing until she gets on her feet. We live in Minnesota. We have great government and special support services. My extended family has been gathering money to help her. I've offered to help her move, pack her things, go to court with her, sign the kids up for school, and even babysit overnight when she finds work. I also missed preparing for an important interview for a grant I need to afford dental hygiene school, but thankfully I was able to reschedule. I deep cleaned her car, and because her ex has been circling my apartment looking for her, I even gave her my underground parking spot. I've talked her down from going back to him over 10 times. But just a few hours ago, she told me she only got the protective order for herself, not for the kids, and that I should stay out of it because she's got it handled. This man held a knife to her throat and said he was going to kill her and the kids while they were right there in the room. He's beaten her so badly, she was bleeding all over the apartment while the kids were there. He's jobless, an addict, and dangerous. And what I'm telling you is only a tiny fraction of what he's done. But I'm tired. I've done everything. She can't keep wasting my time and endangering these kids. Am I the asshole for being ready to kick her out? Edit 1. My whole family is involved and on her side. We're currently saving up money for her. Edit 2. Tonight, I plan on talking to her again. If she doesn't go through with filing the full protective order for the kids, I'm going to airdrop all the photos and videos off her phone secretly so there's at least some record. And if or when she goes back to him, I will call CPS. Even though I know doing that will permanently destroy our relationship and make my whole family turn against me. Update. My entire family, including extended relatives, have agreed that if she goes back to him, CPS will be called immediately. Update 2. I kicked her out. Turns out she still wants to fix things with him. She's literally the dumbest person I've ever met. I swear, I'm never helping someone this delusional again. She's leaving in the morning and I'm blocking her. My aunts and uncle will handle the CPS situation from here. I genuinely don't have the time or energy for it anymore. Now she's trying to make me the villain, saying I forced her to take things to court. Meanwhile, the order of protection didn't even make it to the judge because she told the attorney to drop it. This might sound harsh, but I genuinely believe this. A woman in an abusive relationship without children is a victim, no question. But the moment she allows her children to be abused too, she stops being just a victim. At that point, she becomes part of the problem. It is harsh, but I do fully agree with that. I've previously spoken on the fact that when dealing with people who are going through abusive situations, you need to be patient with them and be ready to help them when they're ready for that kind of help, because they're living in a special kind of hell. But the moment that other people and children are dragged into it, and they're allowing that, and they're not thinking of the damage that might be causing, the situation changes. It becomes more than just themselves. And them not realizing that or willing to take those children or those other individuals out of that situation, it makes them part of the problem, an enabler. It allows the damage and the abuse that's being done to them to then transfer to the others around them and to hurt them. It is most certainly harsh, but by her going back to him after everything he's done with all of the evidence, she is part of the problem. And she's putting her kids in danger. Commercial RIP 7055. Am I overreacting for asking my girlfriend to pay rent? My girlfriend, 26 female, and I, 28 male, have been living together in my apartment for almost 2 years. I've been covering rent, $1,200 a month, plus utilities, while she's been struggling financially, only contributing to groceries and occasional bills when she could. Last month, she suddenly came into a significant amount of money. I thought this was great news for us both. When I casually mentioned that maybe now she could start helping with rent, she completely lost it. She accused me of only caring about her money and said I was being manipulative and controlling. She insists that her financial situation is none of my business and that I'm trying to take advantage of her good fortune. I wasn't asking for back pay or anything, just suggesting that now that she has financial stability, maybe we could have a more equal partnership. I don't think that's unreasonable. Comment from user Bubbly Register 3183. She asked to pay the rent too, not just you. OP responds, her reaction just caught me off guard. She's never blown up at me like that before, wondering if there's something else going on that I'm missing here. User me only responds, what you're missing here is she expects you to support her, and there's no way she intends on spending any of the money on paying her own way. What you're also missing is that she's using you. Quote, she accused me of only caring about her money and said I was being manipulative and controlling. She insists that her financial situation is none of my business and that I'm trying to take advantage of her good fortune. But it was your business while you were paying for her shit. Yeah? She just told you exactly how she feels about you. Your money and her money. I suggest you believe her. So, in my eyes, if she was in the position where it wasn't like a ton of money, but it was just a good chunk, if she had even offered just to cover utilities until she was fully back on her feet, I wouldn't see an issue with that. But because she becomes so adamant of the fact that she's now being used and manipulated by her boyfriend who just wants assistance, paying for the place they both live in, that's a massive red flag. And I think OP should definitely listen to some of those other comments and reevaluate the situation he's in. That's my opinion. Like, if we look at this from the position of, let's say she didn't have a boyfriend. She was down on her luck and struggling to pay rent. Landlord gave her a few months of, yeah, okay, fine. We'll look the other way for a little bit while you get back on your feet. She comes into a bunch of money and decides not to pay the landlord. What? Just because she had good luck that absolves her of any kind of financial responsibility? By the sounds of it, without her boyfriend, she would not have a roof over her head. And all he's asking for is help with the bills that he's been solely covering for nearly 2 years. Here for the sun. Am I overreacting? Boyfriend didn't come home last night. Very long story short, my boyfriend, 37 male, and I, 36 female, have been having this exact same fight for almost a year now, and I feel like I'm going crazy. He'll go out with friends, work, whatever, text me for a couple of hours telling me an estimated time of arrival, and then disappear until 3 a.m. or so. Every single time. My fight is not for him to not go out. I even encourage him. My fight is with a quick message saying, hey, I'm having too much fun here. I will be home later than expected. So I don't wake up in a panic at 3 a.m. thinking he's dead in a ditch. We went through a few of those. He understood my point and said I'll be more mindful of it for next time. Exactly 2 weeks ago, when having another fight about it, I told him that if he ever did it again, I was done. I'm too old for this shit. Again, he said he understood and blah blah blah. Well, forward to yesterday, he sent me a text that he was stuck in traffic on the way home at around 9 p.m. I woke up at 2 a.m. and he was not home. Called him, texted him, and nothing. He texted me at 4:30 a.m. this morning to let me know he's not dead in a ditch, that he went to organize something at his office and fell asleep. He told me that I was being irrational by getting upset for that, and that he'll come home tonight after work. I don't want him home at all. I don't want to keep having the same conversation over and over again, but am I overreacting? It is my opinion that this is purposeful and he's hiding something and actively gaslighting OP. That's my theory, but it lines up with it. Like, his excuses and his actions do not pass the sniff test. There are a few comments from OP in the comments that I feel like actually give some very interesting additional context. First comment was posted by Frosty Policy 9998. Does he use drugs? This sounds like something cocaine users do. They have the best intentions of leaving/being home at a decent hour, but the lines keep coming and the hours pass. Would seriously consider this as a potential problem. OP responds, well, he used to use cocaine. He says he's been clean for a year now, but you might be onto something here. Another comment by Alternative Lack 1954. Find My Phone is a pretty easy feature to use. It's not weird if you trust each other, but I bet this dude's nose is dirty every time he does this. OP responds, we used to have Find My Phone activated until he felt cornered and deactivated it. Downtown Last comments, there it is. If you actually trusted him, you would have no problem with this, but because you don't trust him, the Find My Phone feature is the only way you can reassure yourself that he's not up to something he shouldn't be doing. Saying he feels trapped by this feature tells me that he's gaslighting you and trying to make it your problem. Classic tactics of somebody who's hiding something. Sit him down, tell him what you need, and tell him it's non-negotiable. If he balks, then you have your next right move. See, I think he's pretty much telling OP just straight up bullshit, because who the fuck is stuck at traffic at 9 p.m.? 9 p.m. Stuck in traffic, then turns around in the traffic that he's apparently stuck in at 9 p.m. and goes back to the office to reorganize stuff, sleeps at the office, then doesn't come home until the next night. And he didn't even think to text her, hey, I forgot to do something at the office, I'm gonna be turning around and taking care of that. So that way, at least, she wouldn't wake up in the middle of the night thinking, last time I heard from him, it was 9 p.m. and he said he was in traffic. He's not home 5 hours later. What the fuck could have happened? But no, that's not what we get at all. I think it would be incredibly naive to believe that he's not hiding something or up to something. Fantasy girly. Am I overreacting for snapping at my cousin for barging into my room during a family dinner? I'm 19 female and live with my adoptive family. Tonight, we had a big dinner at our house with extended family, cousins, aunts, uncles, all of that. I'm pretty private, so I asked my parents ahead of time to let everyone know that my room was off limits. They agreed and made sure to tell people. After dinner, I went to my room to relax and FaceTime some friends. I had already changed into what I usually wear at home. Tank top, sleep shorts, nothing crazy, just comfy. Then, my 14-year-old cousin comes knocking, saying he needed to show me something. I told him now's not a good time and to show me later. He ignores me, opens the door anyway, and walks right in while I'm mid-convo, fully not expecting company. I immediately yelled at him to get out, and after a few awkward seconds, he finally did. A few minutes later, his mom, my aunt, starts banging on my door and shouting at me about being inappropriately dressed while guests are around. I kept the door locked and told her through it that this wouldn't have happened if her son respected my space. She lost it and kept yelling, and my mom had to come try and calm her down. Now I feel weird, like yeah, I was in chill clothes, but I was in my room, door closed, and I made it clear I didn't want people coming in. But now I'm being made out like I did something wrong. Am I overreacting for being mad and yelling at him? Normally the point of knocking is to get permission to come into someone's private room, not to just simply knock to announce your presence then come in anyways. For all he could have known, you could have been changing. You could have been actively changing into your sleepwear, and he just barged in because he needed to show you something. You gave him the warning, not right now, I'm busy. And he still came in anyway. OP and her parents attempted to set pretty fucking clear boundaries that were then ignored. And also just like the rules of like decency were ignored as well, of not just barging into a room without permission to enter. And now OP's apparently the one at fault for that? Doesn't matter what the hell she was doing or wearing. Like, he's the one who walked in without her permission. That's on him. I know that some of you might be thinking that she should have still waited to change into her sleepwear until after guests left, but she was in her room with the full expectation of privacy. Like hell, by the aunt's logic, if she had spilled something on her clothes, was she just supposed to not change into something more comfortable or something that wasn't soiled because family was over? And if she did go and change and her younger cousin walked in on her changing, is that still her fault? Like the aunt's logic is bullshit. Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code Oz at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.